There's a particular kind of loneliness that only people who fear intimacy truly understand. It's the loneliness of lying next to someone who loves you and feeling your whole body whisper, "Run." It's wanting to be seen more than anything, and then feeling suffocated the moment someone actually looks. Maybe you've felt it, that strange urge to cancel plans right when a connection starts feeling real. The way you pick fights after moments of vulnerability, almost like you're testing whether they'll leave. The relief you feel when you're finally alone again, followed by that familiar, aching emptiness. You crave closeness desperately, and yet, the moment it arrives, something inside you slams the door shut. If this sounds like you, you've probably spent years wondering what's wrong with you, why you can't just let people in. But what if I told you that this fear of intimacy isn't really fear at all? What if it's a form of protections, so intelligent, so deeply wired into your survival, that you've been misunderstanding it your entire life? Most people spend decades in relationships and therapy trying to understand why they push love away. Today, we're going to explore what psychology has actually discovered about the architecture of intimacy, fear, and why recognizing it might be the single most important step you ever take toward real connection. But first, we need to confront what most people assume about those who fear intimacy and why almost all of it is completely wrong. If you've ever feared intimacy, you've probably heard the labels. You're emotionally unavailable. You're too guarded. You just don't want to commit. Society has a very specific story about people like you. It says you're cold, selfish, that you're playing games, stringing people along, keeping one foot out the door because you simply don't care enough. Your partners have probably said it too. If you really loved me, you wouldn't pull away. As if your distance was a choice. As if vulnerability were some switch you could flip if only you tried a little harder. And maybe, after hearing it enough times, you started to believe it yourself. Maybe you've looked in the mirror and thought, why can't I just be normal? Why can't I just ... let someone love me? Here's what makes this so painful. You're being called cold when you're actually drowning in feeling. You're being told you don't care when the truth is, you care so much, it terrifies you. The world sees someone pulling away and assumes indifference. It never stops to ask what might be underneath. If you've ever been told you're too complicated, too guarded, too difficult to reach and, somehow, also not enough, then this is where we start to unravel the truth. Because here's what those surface-level judgments miss entirely: the vast, complex, and often heartbreaking landscape of what's actually happening beneath the fear. Let's go there. Now, here's what no one tells you about people who fear intimacy. They don't fear closeness itself. They fear what closeness has always led to: abandonment, rejection, engulfment, the unbearable vulnerability of needing someone who might leave, the terror of being truly seen and being found unworthy. This is the hidden truth. People who push love away are rarely the ones who feel too little. They're almost always the ones who feel too much. They want connection desperately, achingly, with every fiber of their being. But somewhere along the way, they learned that wanting comes with a price, that love, for them, has never been safe. And here's where it gets painful. This learning usually happens early, before you had words, before you could make sense of what was happening. Maybe love in your childhood was unpredictable, present one moment, withdrawn the next. Maybe you had a parent who was physically there, but emotionally absent, leaving you, reaching for something you could never quite grasp. Maybe affection came with conditions, with criticism, with the unspoken message that you were too much or never quite enough. Maybe someone left, or someone stayed, but in a way that made you wish they hadn't. For many people who fear intimacy, love was the most unreliable thing in their young world. And when love is unreliable, your nervous system does something remarkably intelligent. It learns to protect you. It builds walls. It creates distance. It develops an early warning system that sounds the alarm the moment someone gets too close. This isn't dysfunction. This is survival. Your fear of intimacy isn't a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that you adapted, that your younger self found a way to navigate a world where closeness meant pain, and that adaptation kept you safe. The approach avoidance dance you do in relationships, that push and pull that confuses everyone, including yourself. It's not random. It's the echo of a wound that never fully healed. Understanding this changes everything, because suddenly the patterns that seemed shameful start to make sense. The behaviors that felt crazy begin to form a map that leads back to a child who needed protection and found the only way they knew how. What if your fear isn't proof that you're incapable of love, but evidence that you've loved so deeply it taught you to guard your heart at all costs? Let's go deeper now into the science, into the architecture of why intimacy feels so threatening to some nervous systems and not to others. Because this isn't just poetry, it's psychology. And understanding the mechanics can set you free. It starts with attachment. In the 1960s, psychologist John Bowlby discovered something revolutionary. The way we bond with our earliest caregivers creates a template for every relationship that follows. Mary Ainsworth expanded this work, identifying distinct attachment styles, patterns we carry, often unconsciously, into adulthood. If your early caregivers were consistent and responsive, you likely developed secure attachment. Closeness feels natural, safe, like coming home. But if love was unpredictable, frightening, or absent, your system adapted differently. Avoidant attachment develops when caregivers were emotionally distant. You learned early that needing people leads to disappointment, so you became fiercely independent, self-reliant, allergic to vulnerability. Fearful-avoidant, sometimes called disorganized attachment, is even more complex. It often develops when caregivers were both the source of comfort and the source of fear. You learned to crave closeness and dread it simultaneously, approach and avoid, want and run. Here's what's crucial to understand. Your attachment style isn't who you are, it's what you learned. It's software, not hardware, but it runs deep. When someone with intimacy fear gets close to another person, their brain often responds as if facing physical danger. The amygdala threat detection center lights up. Stress hormones flood your system. Your body prepares for fight, flight, or freeze. This isn't drama. This is neurobiology. Your nervous system remembers what your conscious mind may have forgotten, and it's trying to protect you from experiencing that old pain again. This explains the defense mechanisms that show up in relationships: emotional numbing, going blank, or dissociating during intimate moments, suddenly feeling nothing when you should feel everything, intellectualization, retreating into your head, to avoid your heart, analyzing the relationship instead of experiencing it, preemptive rejection, finding fatal flaws, creating distance, leaving before you can be left, manufacturing conflict-picking fights to create space when closeness feels suffocating. These aren't character flaws, they're protective strategies, brilliant ones, actually designed by a younger version of you who needed to survive. Underneath these defenses often lie core beliefs. I'm too much. I'm not enough. Everyone leaves. Eventually, if they really knew me, they wouldn't stay. These beliefs form what psychologists call skimmers, rigid frameworks shaped by early experience, and they filter everything. Every loving gesture gets interpreted through a lens of suspicion. Every moment of closeness triggers the expectation of pain. Here's something that might surprise you. Research shows that people who fear intimacy often have stronger emotional reactions, not weaker ones. They feel more, not less. Their sensitivity is precisely why they needed such strong walls. But here's the hope, and this is important. Psychologists have documented something called earned secure attachment. This means that even if you didn't receive secure attachment in childhood, you can develop it later through awareness, through corrective experiences, through relationships, therapeutic or personal, that slowly teach your nervous system a new truth. You are not sentenced to your past. The patterns are real. The wounds are real. But they are not the end of the story. And theory is helpful, but stories are where we truly see ourselves. Let me introduce you to 4 people. They're composites drawn from countless real experiences. See if you recognize yourself in any of them. The self-saboteur's been dating him for 4 months. He's kind, consistent, available. Everything she said she wanted, and she's absolutely terrified. So she starts looking for the flaw, the fatal flaw that will justify walking away. His laugh is too loud. He texts too much. He's too nice, and that somehow feels suspicious. One night, after he says something genuinely sweet, she picks a fight over nothing, pushes until he's confused and hurt. And when he finally pulls back, she feels ... relief. Then, 3 days later, alone in her apartment, the loneliness crashes in like a wave, and she wonders why she always destroys the good things. The cycle begins again. The emotional freeze. He has a partner who adores him, who shows up every single day with love and patience, and he feels ... nothing. During intimate moments, he goes through the motions, says the right words, but inside, there's a wall of glass between him and his own heart. He watches himself from a distance, performing closeness without feeling it. At night, he lies awake, wondering if he's broken, if he's simply incapable of love. The guilt is crushing, having someone who loves him so fully and being unable to receive it. He's not cold, he's frozen. And he doesn't know how to thaw the distance. Seeker she only falls for people she can't have. The one who lives across the ocean, the one who's emotionally unavailable, the one who's already with someone else. She tells herself it's bad luck, that she just keeps choosing wrong. But somewhere deeper, she knows the truth. Available love feels dangerous. It's the unavailable ones who are safe, because longing from a distance can never actually hurt you. Real presence, real intimacy, real availability. That's where the danger lives. So she keeps herself in the ache of almost never arriving, never landing. never having to face what happens when someone actually stays, the overgiver who disappears at the start. He's everything, attentive, generous, all in. He texts first, plans the dates, gives and gives until his partner feels like the center of the universe. But slowly, almost imperceptibly, he starts to withdraw. The texts get shorter, the plans less frequent. The warmth fades into something polite and distant. His partner is bewildered. What changed? What changed is that it started to feel real. And real means vulnerable. And vulnerable means unsafe. So, he gave everything when it was still a performance and disappeared. When it started asking for his actual heart. These four people look different on the surface, but underneath, they share the same wound. Somewhere in their history, love became synonymous with danger, and their systems learned to protect them through sabotage, through numbing, through distance, through performance. They are not broken. They are adapted. If you see yourself in any of these stories, I want you to pause and take a breath. Because recognition is not condemnation. It's the beginning of something new. Seeing the pattern really, seeing it means you're no longer living it unconsciously. But what happens if we never see it? What does it cost us to stay blind? Oh, let's see what these patterns actually look like when they show up in real lives. Here's the painful truth about intimacy, fear that goes unexamined. It doesn't just stay the same. It grows. The walls that once protected you slowly become the walls that imprison you. The patterns that kept you safe begin to keep you small. And the life you actually want, each passing year, let's name the costs honestly. Chronic loneliness 7. When you're surrounded by people. Because surface level connection can never touch the ache of being deeply unseen. Relationships that almost work. Partners who tried to love you but eventually gave up, confused, exhausted, convinced that they failed. Never knowing that your distance wasn't about them. The quiet tragedy of love that was actually available that you couldn't let in. Doors that were open, that you walked past because open doors felt more dangerous than closed ones. Cycles of shame, asking yourself why you're like this, believing something is fundamentally wrong with you, carrying a secret you can barely name, and perhaps most painfully, children who inherit what you never resolved, who learn without words that love is something to approach with caution. Unexamined intimacy, fear doesn't soften over time. It calcifies. The shell gets thicker, the heart more guarded, the chance for connection more distant. This isn't said to create shame. It's said to clarify the stakes, because the life on the other side of this pattern, it's real, it's possible, and change begins in a single moment of recognition. So where does change begin? Not where you might expect. It doesn't start with forcing yourself to be vulnerable. It doesn't start with white-knuckling your way through discomfort, or demanding that you suddenly become open. Change begins with seeing. Really seeing, without judgment. Without shame, the moment you recognize that your distance has a historiological reason that made sense once, even if it no longer serves you, something profound shifts inside. You stop being the villain of your own story, and you start becoming its witness. This is what psychologists call the first step toward earned, secure attachment. Not performing closeness before you're ready. Not tearing down walls overnight, but simply noticing the urge to run in, getting curious instead of reactive, noticing the impulse to push avoidant, pausing just for a breath before acting on it, noticing the fearful-avoidant, choosing just once to stay anyway. Healing isn't about demolishing the house you've built around your heart. It's about learning to install doors and windows so that you can choose when to let someone in rather than being trapped inside forever. Here's what the research tells us. The nervous system doesn't learn through logic. It learns through experience. You can't think your way into feeling safe. You have to create new experiences of safety, slowly, gently, one small moment at a time, and those moments add up. They become new neural pathways, new templates, new possibilities. So what does this work actually look like in practice? Understanding why you fear intimacy is essential, but understanding alone won't rewire your nervous system. For that, you need practice, real, tangible tools, small actions that slowly teach your body a new truth, that closeness can exist without catastrophe. Let's begin with what matters most, self-awareness. Getting curious about your patterns before you can shift a pattern. You need to see it clearly, without judgment, without shame, just honest curiosity. Try sitting with these questions, perhaps in a journal, perhaps just quietly with yourself. When closeness begins, what sensations arise in my body? Tightness in my chest, restlessness, an urge to check my phone. Change the subject, leave the room. What did I learn about love before I even had words? What was modeled for me before I could understand it? What am I really afraid will happen if I let someone fully in? Rejection, engulfment, losing myself entirely. These questions aren't meant to be solved. They're meant to be explored. And as you explore, start tracking your patterns. Notice the moments you want to pull away. Don't fight them, just observe. Get curious rather than reactive. Ask yourself, what types of intimacy feel most threatening? Emotional vulnerability, physical affection, commitment itself. Knowing your specific landscape helps you walk through it more gently. Calming the nervous system. Your body holds what your mind has forgotten. Healing must include the body, not just insight. When you feel the urge to run, try this. Pause. Place one hand on your chest. Breathe slowly in for 4 counts, out for 6. Feel your feet pressing into the floor beneath you. You're not trying to eliminate fear. You're creating a small window of safety so you can choose your response rather than being hijacked by it. This is called titration, taking intimacy in small doses. You don't have to dive into the deep end. You can wade in 1 inch at a time, building tolerance with each step, and whenever possible, lean into core regulation, being around safe, calm people whose nervous systems can help soothe yours. Sometimes, their steadiness can teach your body what words never could. Speaking the unspeakable, learn to name what's happening inside you before it becomes conflict. Instead of picking a fight or shutting down, try, I'm feeling scared right now. I need a moment. This isn't about you, or I notice I'm wanting to pull away. Can we slow down together? Vulnerable. Absolutely. But this builds something profound: trust in yourself and trust with others. When you need more supportive, these patterns run deep. Consider professional help. Modalities like EMDR, somatic therapy, internal family systems, and attachment-focused therapy can reach what logic cannot. A good therapist becomes a corrective experience proof that connection can be safe for those who love. Someone with intimacy feared in, take their distance personally. Pursue gently, not forcefully. Let them feel you'll stay without overwhelming them. And please, take care of yourself too. These aren't quick fixes, they're pathways. Every small step builds new neural connections, new possibilities. And as we near the end, I want to offer something counterintuitive. This fear you've been fighting, it isn't only a wound, it's also a testament to something powerful within you. We've spent this entire video talking about intimacy, fear as something to understand, something to heal, something to overcome. And that's true. But before we close, I need you to hear something else. Something that might feel counterintuitive, but is equally true. Your fear of intimacy is not evidence that you're broken. It's evidence that you survived. Somewhere in your story, you faced something that required walls, something that demanded protection, and you, young, resourceful, remarkably adaptive you, found a way to keep yourself safe. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. Hard-won, body-deep wisdom. And here's what else is true about people who fear intimacy. You feel deeply, more deeply than most. Your sensitivity isn't a flaw, it's precisely why you needed such strong defenses. You read people with uncanny precision. You notice shifts in tone, in energy, in attention. You developed this skill because you had to, and it's a gift even when it's exhausting. You have a rich inner world, a capacity for reflection and insight that many people never develop. You've been forced to know yourself in ways that others can avoid their entire lives. And perhaps, most importantly, when you do finally let someone in, when safety is established and the walls begin to soften, you are capable of a depth of intimacy that takes people's breath away. You are not too much. You are not enough. You are someone whose heart learned early that love required armor, and now you get to choose differently.